The laughingstock of the galaxy. Ambassador Sarah Chen stood at the podium of the Galactic Council chamber, maintaining her diplomatic smile despite the ripple of chittering laughter echoing through the vast crystalline dome. Above her, thousands of beings from across the galaxy perched in their environmental bubbles, their derision barely contained behind their sophisticated translation matrices. As I was saying, she continued, her voice steady, humanity would be honored to contribute our military expertise to the Council's Defense Committee. The void speaker of the Meraxian Collective, a being composed of shimmering plasma contained within an ornate metallic shell, pulsed with barely contained amusement. Honored colleagues, while we appreciate Earth's enthusiasm, perhaps we should focus on more practical matters. The humans haven't even mastered basic genetic engineering or achieved synthetic immortality. Their bodies are still bound by organic limitations. More laughter followed. Sarah's artificial eye, a replacement after a childhood accident, tracked the reactions across the chamber. Her neural implant, primitive by Council standards, recorded everything for later analysis. High above, Guardian Supreme Zixtal of the Silicon Consciousness spread his crystalline appendages in what passed for a theatrical gesture among his kind. They still rely on chemical reactions for thought processes. Their neural networks are organic. This observation triggered another wave of amusement through the chamber. Sarah had expected this reaction. Humanity had only achieved faster-than-light travel 15 years ago, stumbling onto the galactic stage like toddlers taking their first steps. To these ancient civilizations, some of whom had been crossing the stars when Earth's first fish crawled onto land, humans must seem hopelessly primitive. But Sarah knew something they didn't. Distinguished members of the Council, she spoke again, her voice cutting through the diminishing laughter. While it's true that we haven't achieved the technological marvels many of you consider basic, humanity has something unique to offer. We have experience you lack. Experience. The void speaker's plasma form flickered skeptically. In what, Ambassador? The art of dying from old age. Sarah activated her holoprojector, filling the chamber with images from human history. Experience in survival, in adaptation, in facing extinction-level threats and emerging stronger. While many of your species evolved in controlled environments or engineered yourselves past your challenges, humanity evolved on what you would classify as a death world. The laughter had stopped now, replaced by curious murmuring, as the images showed Earth's diverse and deadly ecosystems, its extreme weather patterns, and its long history of predators that would give even the most advanced species pause. We don't just survive, Sarah continued. We thrive in chaos. We adapt not through programming or engineering, but through creativity and determination. Our primitive bodies, as you call them, are the result of millions of years of evolutionary pressure that forced us to become the ultimate generalists. She was about to continue when every alert system in the chamber activated simultaneously. The crystalline dome darkened as emergency protocols engage. A holographic representation of the galaxy materialized in the center of the chamber, with an ominous void spreading across its edges. The void speaker's plasma form contracted in what Sarah recognized as fear. Impossible. The deep space sensors must be malfunctioning. But Sarah's human eyes, one organic, one artificial, saw the pattern immediately. It was familiar, hauntingly so. She'd seen something similar in historical records of predator migration patterns on Earth. No, she said, her voice cutting through the growing panic. It's not a malfunction. That's a hunting pattern. The chamber fell silent as every being turned to look at the primitive human who had spoken with such certainty. Sarah felt the weight of their attention, but her focus remained on the hologram. Her neural implant was already calculating possible trajectories, comparing them to Earth's historical databases of pack predator behaviors. What we're seeing, she explained, is something ancient. Something that hunts civilizations the way Earth's apex predators once hunted our ancestors. She paused, letting the implications sink in. And unlike your perfect engineered societies, humanity remembers what it's like to be prey. The void speaker's dismissive tone had vanished. "You've seen this before." "Not this exactly," Sarah admitted, "but we recognize the pattern. While your civilizations were engineering away conflict and hardship, humanity was learning to survive against all odds. You've forgotten what it's like to fight for survival. We never had that luxury." As the council chamber erupted into chaos, Sarah allowed herself a grim smile. The galaxy had laughed at humanity's primitive nature, their unevolved bodies, their reliance on outdated biological systems. But now, facing an unknown threat that defied their advanced technology, they might just need those primitive instincts. The silicon consciousness's crystalline form vibrated in what Sarah had learned to recognize as distress. "What do you suggest, Ambassador?" Sarah straightened her shoulders, feeling the weight of both her species' long history of survival and its potential future among the stars. "First, we prepare for war. Not the elegant programmed conflicts you're used to, but real war. The kind humanity remembers in its bones. And then," she smiled, but there was steel in it, "we teach this hunter what it's like to become the prey." The chamber was silent now, all traces of laughter forgotten. Above her, thousands of advanced beings who had moments ago mocked humanity's primitive nature now looked to their newest member with something new in their artificial eyes: hope. Humanity was about to show the galaxy why evolution had made them the ultimate survivors. The warning no one heeded. The Galactic Council's Emergency Response Center was a marvel of advanced technology. Quantum computers processed data from millions of sensor arrays across known space. AI systems more sophisticated than anything humanity had achieved ran countless simulations. Yet despite all this processing power, they were missing what Sarah Chen could see with her comparatively primitive human brain. "It's like watching a pride of lions," she muttered, studying the holographic display. The void continued its inexorable advance through the outer systems, leaving dead worlds in its wake. High Commander Xaltic, a being of pure energy contained within an advanced warfare chassis, turned their attention to her. "Explain this reference, Ambassador. What are these lions?" "Apex predators from Earth," Sarah replied, her artificial eye zooming in on a particular pattern of movement. "They hunt in groups, using coordinated attacks to separate prey from the herd. What we're seeing here isn't random destruction. It's a hunting strategy." The Council's Defense Committee had been in session for 3 standard days. Representatives from 100 advanced civilizations debated complicated defensive algorithms and shield harmonics, while Sarah saw something much more primal at work. "Impossible," declared Technical Overseer Vec 117, their synthetic body gleaming under the emergency lights. "Our analysis shows no signs of coordination. The attack patterns are chaotic, unpredictable." Sarah pulled up the historical records she'd requested from Earth. "Look at this footage of wolf packs hunting bison. Now compare it to the void's movement." She overlaid the patterns. "What appears chaotic to your ordered minds is actually a proven hunting strategy that evolved over millions of years." The assembled beings studied the comparison with varying degrees of skepticism. Sarah could almost hear their enhanced neural networks struggling to process such a primitive concept. "Even if you're correct," Xaltic conceded reluctantly, "how does this help us? Our automated defense systems are the most advanced in known space." "And that's exactly the problem," Sarah said, stepping closer to the central hologram. "Your defenses are predictable. Perfect. The void creatures are counting on that. They're not just destroying worlds. They're learning, adapting, finding patterns in your responses." She manipulated the display, highlighting the paths of destruction. "See here. Every time your automated systems engage using standard protocols, the void adapts slightly. It's probing for weaknesses, like a predator testing its prey's defenses." The committee erupted into arguments, their various forms of communication creating a cacophony of light, sound, and electromagnetic pulses. Sarah waited patiently, remembering similar reactions when humanity first proposed using obsolete projectile weapons alongside energy weapons. "What do you propose?" VEC 117 finally asked, their synthetic voice carrying an unfamiliar note of uncertainty. We need to fight like humans, Sarah said, pulling up more historical data. Unpredictably, irrationally, we need to embrace chaos. Chaos. The word rippled through the chamber like a blasphemy. These beings had spent millennia perfecting order, eliminating uncertainty from their existence. Controlled chaos, Sarah clarified. Look at human military history. Our greatest victories often came not from superior technology, but from strategies our enemies considered too illogical to defend against. She brought up battle plans from Earth's past, the flanking maneuvers at Cannae, the guerrilla tactics of various resistance movements, the asymmetrical warfare that had defined many conflicts. Your civilizations evolved past the need for such warfare, she continued. But in doing so, you lost something vital. The ability to think like a predator, and more importantly, like prey fighting back. Saltic's energy form pulsed with agitation. You suggest we abandon our advanced systems. Rely on instinct. I suggest we combine both, Sarah replied. Your technology with human unpredictability. The void creatures expect perfect, programmed responses. Let's show them something they've never seen before. She pulled up her own battle plan, crude by council standards, but filled with the kind of adaptive strategies that had kept humanity alive on their death world. We let them think they're hunting us, while we prepare a trap. Something no advanced civilization would consider, something so primitive it just might work. The committee members studied her plan in silence. Sarah could see them struggling with the concept, their enhanced minds trying to process strategies that defied their logical protocols. This is madness, VEC 117 finally declared. The casualty projections alone are better than extinction. Sarah cut in. You've all forgotten what it's like to fight with your backs against the wall. Humanity remembers. We've spent our entire history surviving against overwhelming odds. She looked around the chamber, meeting each being's sensors or visual apparatus directly. You mock our primitive nature, our reliance on biological processes and instinct. But those very traits might be what saves us all. The void thinks it's hunting primitive prey. Let's show it what happens when the prey fights back. The silence that followed was heavy with possibility. Finally, High Commander Saltic's energy form brightened with decision. The committee will consider your proposal, Ambassador, but we'll need more details about these human tactics. Sarah smiled, her artificial eye already cataloging the strategic possibilities. Then let me tell you about a little thing we call the Trojan horse, and why sometimes the best way to win a fight is to lose it in exactly the right way. As she began her explanation, she noticed something had changed in the way the committee members regarded her. The dismissive amusement was gone, replaced by something new. Respect, tinged with the first hints of hope. The galaxy was about to learn why humans had never needed to engineer away their predator instincts. They were about to discover that sometimes the most primitive solution was the most effective one. And the void. It was about to learn what countless Earth predators had discovered over millions of years, that humans were at their most dangerous when they were underestimated. When the laughter stopped, the Meraxian colony of New Dawn died exactly as their advanced simulations had predicted, perfectly, efficiently, and completely wrong. Sarah Chen watched from the bridge of the Earth ship Thunderchild as the void creatures tore through the colony's supposedly impenetrable defenses. The Meraxians had programmed their response to perfection, each automated system reacting exactly as designed. And that was precisely why they were losing. Just like we expected, she murmured, her artificial eye recording everything. They're following the pattern. Captain Maya Rodriguez, her longtime friend and commander of the Thunderchild, nodded grimly. The Council's perfect defenses might as well be a neon sign saying, "Eat here." The void creatures, massive beings of dark energy that defied conventional physics, moved with terrible purpose. Their attack pattern matched exactly what Sarah had predicted based on Earth's predator studies. They were hurting their prey. systematically eliminating escape routes while the colony's defenses followed their predetermined protocols. All ships, maintain position. Maya ordered over the fleet comm. Let them think they've got us pinned. Sarah could almost feel the discomfort radiating from their alien allies. The combined fleet of Earth and Council vessels hung back, appearing to cower behind a stellar dust cloud. Everything in their advanced tactical programming screamed at them to engage, to follow their carefully calculated battle plans. But they had agreed to try humanity's way, just this once. Colony defenses at 40% and falling, reported the Silicon Consciousness Liaison, their crystalline form vibrating with distress. We must engage. Not yet, Sarah said firmly. Wait for them to commit fully to the attack. She watched as the void creatures pressed their advantage, their dark forms consuming energy and matter alike. The colony's outer rings were already gone, their perfect geometric patterns reduced to scattered debris. Colony defenses at 15%. The liaison updated. Ambassador, your strategy. Look at their formation, Sarah interrupted, highlighting points on the tactical display. See how they're bunching up. They think they've found a working strategy against our defenses. They're getting confident. Sloppy. The void creatures had indeed gathered into a tighter formation, their dark mass concentrated on breaking through the colony's final shields. They had learned to expect certain responses from the advanced civilizations they'd encountered. Perfect, predictable, programmed responses. They weren't expecting humanity's brand of controlled chaos. Now, Sarah commanded, and Captain Rodriguez relayed the order. The human ships moved first, their primitive fusion drives flaring bright against the darkness of space. They charged straight at the void creatures, a suicidal move by any tactical standard. The Council ships followed a moment later, their more advanced drives allowing them to keep formation despite their misgivings. The void creatures reacted exactly as Sarah had predicted. They began to shift, preparing to envelop the attacking fleet just as they had done countless times before. That's when humanity showed them something new. Launch the Chaos packets, Maya ordered. From the Earth ships streamed thousands of small objects, simple mechanical devices that the Council races had dismissed as too primitive to be effective. Each contained nothing more than radioactive material and a fusion detonator, scattered in what appeared to be a random pattern. The void creatures ignored them completely. Such primitive weapons were beneath their notice. All ships, execute Command Protocol Alpha, Sarah announced, allowing herself a grim smile. Show them why humans still study the art of misdirection. The real trap was sprung. Every Council ship activated their quantum fields simultaneously, creating a complex web of overlapping energy patterns. The primitive human devices detonated in sequence, their radiation interacting with the quantum fields in ways that defied the void creatures' experience. The result was beautiful chaos. Space itself seemed to fracture, creating a cascade of quantum disruptions that ripped through the void creatures' formation. Their dark energy forms wavered, tried to adapt, but for the first time, they faced something they couldn't predict or consume. All ships, engage at will. Maya's order cut through the chaos. Show them why humanity never forgot how to fight dirty. The combined fleet struck from multiple vectors, their advanced weapons now guided by human tactical instincts rather than perfect algorithms. Earth ships deliberately took hits to create openings, sacrificing shields in calculated gambits that no eye would have considered acceptable. The void creatures, for the first time since they entered Council space, began to retreat. Colony defenses at 8%. The Silicon Consciousness Liaison reported, their tone shifting from despair to something approaching wonder. But the void creatures, they're withdrawing. Sarah watched as the dark mass pulled back, their perfect hunting formation shattered by humanity's controlled chaos. They're used to fighting advanced civilizations that follow logical patterns. We just showed them something they've never seen. A prey species that fights back with primitive fury and advanced technology. The bridge fell silent as they watched the void creatures disappear into deep space, leaving behind a damaged but surviving colony. The council ships moved to assist with repairs, their crews still processing what they had witnessed. Ambassador, the liaison spoke after a long moment. The council, we owe humanity an apology. We dismissed your species as primitive, but today you've shown us something extraordinary. Sarah's artificial eye recorded the final shots of the battle zone, adding them to humanity's growing database of void creature encounters. No apology needed. Just remember this. Sometimes the oldest solutions are the best ones. Humanity never engineered away our survival instincts because we knew that someday we might need them again. As the fleet regrouped and rescue operations began, Sarah could feel a shift in how the council races regarded their human allies. The laughter had stopped, replaced by a new understanding. They had just witnessed why humanity's primitive nature was actually their greatest strength. The void creatures had learned an important lesson too, though they didn't know it yet. They thought they were the galaxy's ultimate predators, but they had just encountered something far more dangerous, a species that remembered what it meant to be both predator and prey, and had never lost the will to fight back. The hunt was about to change, and humanity was just getting started. The human factor. 3 months after the Battle of New Dawn, the Galactic Council's war chamber had transformed. Gone were the pristine holographic displays showing perfect battle formations. Instead, the walls were covered with what many council members had initially dismissed as primitive scrawl. Hand-drawn tactical diagrams, annotated star charts, and analysis of predator behavior patterns. Sarah Chen stood before the assembled representatives, her artificial eye scanning their reactions as she explained humanity's latest strategic proposal. Behind her, Captain Rodriguez pointed to a particularly chaotic-looking battle plan. You want us to deliberately appear weak. The Void Speaker's plasma form fluctuated with disbelief. To show vulnerability. Exactly, Sarah confirmed. The Void creatures hunt like pack predators. They target what they perceive as easy prey. We can use that against them. The Silicon Consciousness representative raised their crystalline appendages. But our latest tactical algorithms suggest. With respect, Maya interrupted. Your algorithms are part of the problem. The void creatures have learned to predict them. What they can't predict is human improvisation. The success at New Dawn had earned humanity a voice in the Council's war planning. But old habits died hard. Sarah could see the various representatives struggling with concepts that defied their sophisticated programming. Show them the Earth footage, she suggested to Maya. The captain nodded and activated a holographic display. The chamber filled with images from Earth's wilderness, a pack of wolves pursuing elk, lions hunting gazelle, and various other predator-prey interactions. Notice how the prey animals sometimes appear to break formation, to act injured or weak, Sarah explained. It's not random. It's a defensive strategy, drawing predators into a trap. Understanding began to dawn across the various alien faces and forms. The Void Speaker's plasma brightened. Like your Trojan horse strategy at New Dawn. Exactly, Maya confirmed. But that was just the beginning. We've analyzed every void creature attack pattern. They're learning, adapting, but they're still thinking like predators. We need to think like something they've never encountered, prey that fights back intelligently. Sarah brought up the battle data from recent engagements. Look here. Every time we've broken from standard military doctrine, every time we've acted irrationally by council standards, we've caught them off guard. The data was undeniable. Traditional council tactics had a 12% success rate against the void creatures. Battles incorporating human strategies showed a 73% success rate. There's more, Sarah continued. We've discovered something fascinating about human physiology in these engagements. She projected medical data collected from human crews during battles. Our primitive adrenal responses, our ability to function under extreme stress, even our capacity for split-second instinctive decisions, they're all advantages against the void creatures. How so? Asked a representative of the Silicon Consciousness. The void creatures operate on patterns like any predator, Maya explained. They've evolved to counter advanced technology and perfect tactical responses. But human biology, our fight-or-flight responses, our ability to act on gut instinct, it introduces an element of chaos they can't predict. Sarah highlighted a particular battle recording. Watch this engagement. The void creatures had trapped the Earth ship Majestic Dawn. By any logical analysis, the ship was doomed. But the human captain did something no tactical eye would ever suggest. The recording showed the Majestic Dawn cutting power to all systems except life support, appearing dead in space. As the void creatures moved in for the kill, the ship suddenly executed a maneuver that violated several laws of tactical sense, burning their engines well past safety limits to slip through a gap in the void creature's formation. The crew suffered severe deforces, Sarah noted. Any council race would have been incapacitated. But humans, our bodies evolved to handle extreme stress. The captain made a split-second decision based on instinct, and her crew's primitive biology allowed them to survive the maneuver. The chamber was silent as the implications sank in. The very traits the council had mocked: human unpredictability, their resilient biology, their primitive instincts, were proving to be crucial advantages. "We're not asking you to abandon your advanced technology," Maya said into the silence. "We're suggesting a synthesis. Your quantum weapons guided by human instinct. Your shield systems deployed with the unpredictability of natural defensive behaviors. A combination of the most advanced science in the galaxy with the most basic survival instincts." The void speaker's plasma form pulsed thoughtfully. "You propose we devolve our tactical thinking." "No," Sarah corrected. "We propose you remember something your civilizations forgot in their rush to perfect themselves: the value of imperfection. The strength found in adaptation rather than optimization." She gestured to the tactical displays around them. "The void creatures are the perfect predator, evolved to hunt perfect prey. But humanity, we're messy, unpredictable. We're the result of millions of years of being both predator and prey, of surviving by any means necessary." The council representatives began to nod, their various forms showing signs of acceptance. The success at New Dawn had opened their minds to new possibilities, and the data was impossible to ignore. "So," Maya asked, "who's ready to learn how to fight dirty?" The chamber erupted in a chorus of agreement, various alien forms signaling their assent in a dozen different ways. As Sarah watched, she saw something she never expected to see in these advanced beings: a spark of that primitive survival instinct they had engineered away so long ago. The galaxy was remembering how to fight. And humanity, the laughingstock of the council, was leading the way. The void creatures thought they were hunting primitive prey. They were about to learn they had awakened something far more dangerous: the combined might of advanced civilization and primal survival instinct. The real war was about to begin. Strength in diversity. The void creature's final push into council space came exactly as Sarah Chen had predicted, not through complex tactical analysis, but through an understanding of predator behavior that went back to humanity's earliest days. "They're desperate," she explained to the assembled war council, her artificial eye tracking the massive dark energy formations approaching the core systems. "They've lost too many hunting grounds. Now they're going for broke. One massive attack to overwhelm us." The combined fleet of Council and Earth vessels hung in formation around Nexus Prime, the seat of galactic civilization. Once pristine ships now bore the scars of dozens of battles, their perfect designs modified with what the Council races had originally dismissed as crude human innovations. "All ships reporting ready," Captain Rodriguez announced from the Thunderchild's bridge. "The trap is set." The council chambers had been evacuated, their representatives distributed throughout the fleet. The void speaker's plasma form pulsed beside Sarah on the bridge, while crystalline appendages of the Silicon Consciousness representative glinted from a nearby tactical station. "I never thought I would say this," the void speaker admitted, "but I'm grateful for humanity's primitive intuition." Sarah smiled. 6 months of warfare had changed more than just tactical doctrine. The council races had begun to rediscover something they had engineered away generations ago: the value of instinct, of imperfection, of adaptation. Multiple void signatures detected, Maya reported. Bigger than anything we've seen before. They've combined into one massive hunting pack. The tactical display showed the truth of it. Hundreds of void creatures, their dark energy forms merging into a single planet-sized mass of cosmic hunger. By any logical analysis, by any advanced tactical simulation, the combined fleet stood no chance. But humanity had taught the galaxy to think beyond logic. All ships, execute Operation Primal Fear, Sarah commanded, and felt a surge of pride as council ships moved with decidedly uncouncil-like unpredictability. The trap was elegant in its primitiveness. Quantum beacons salvaged from dead colonies had been modified with what council engineers had called barbarically simple human modifications. Scattered throughout the system, they created a false image of civilization's last refuge, a perfect, tempting target for predators who had learned to hunt the advanced races of the galaxy. The void creatures took the bait. Their massive forms surged forward, dark energy tendrils reaching out to ensnare what they thought was the last bastion of their prey. They had learned to counter every advanced defense, to predict every sophisticated strategy. They weren't prepared for the galaxy's most advanced civilizations to fight like cornered animals. Now, Sarah's command triggered a cascade of carefully orchestrated chaos. Council ships dropped their perfect formation, scattering in patterns based on Earth herd animals facing predator attacks. Human vessels charged seemingly suicidally forward, their crew's biology allowing them to survive maneuvers that would have killed any council race. The void creatures' formation wavered, their perfect hunting pattern disrupted by prey that refused to behave like prey. Second phase, Maya ordered, and the true beauty of humanity's plan revealed itself. The scattered ships suddenly released thousands of modified quantum beacons. Each one had been programmed with a different frequency, their patterns based not on advanced algorithms, but on the chaotic defensive displays of Earth's animals. The void creatures' dark energy form began to fragment, their unified mass splitting apart as conflicting signals disrupted their hunting pattern. All ships, weapons free, Sarah commanded. Show them what humanity taught you about fighting dirty. The combined fleet struck from all directions, their advanced weapons guided by human instinct rather than computer targeting. Council ships performed maneuvers their designers would have considered impossible, their crews having learned to trust in controlled chaos. The void creatures, for the first time since they entered the galaxy, showed signs of fear. Their massive form tried to retreat, to regroup, but humanity had learned from countless generations of being both predator and prey. There would be no escape. Final phase, Sarah announced, and felt the Thunderchild's deck vibrate as they activated humanity's last gift to the Council, a weapon that combined advanced quantum technology with the simple, brutal effectiveness of an ancient hunting trap. The void creatures found themselves caught in a web of overlapping quantum fields, each one tuned to a different frequency based on studies of Earth predator responses to threat displays. Their dark energy forms began to unravel, their perfect hunting pattern torn apart by the very chaos they had dismissed as primitive. Sometimes, Sarah said softly, watching the massive void form collapse in on itself, the oldest solutions are the best ones. The battle ended not with the perfect precision the Council would have planned, but with the messy, absolute effectiveness of natural selection. The void creatures, the galaxy's perfect predators, were undone by the very primitiveness they had sought to prey upon. In the aftermath, as rescue operations began and damage reports flooded in, Sarah stood in the Thunderchild's observation deck with representatives from a dozen advanced races. They watched together as the last traces of dark energy dispersed into space. Humanity has taught us much, the Void Speaker admitted, their plasma form glowing with new understanding. We thought we had evolved beyond the need for instinct, beyond the chaos of natural evolution. We were wrong. Not wrong, Sarah corrected, her artificial eye recording the historic moment. Just incomplete. True strength isn't in perfection, it's in diversity. In combining the advanced with the primitive, the logical with the instinctive. She gestured to the fleet around them, where council ships now bore the scars of battle like badges of honor, rather than flaws to be corrected. Look at what we've achieved together. Your advanced technology combined with our primitive survival instincts. Perfect tactical systems guided by imperfect human intuition. The silicon consciousness representative's crystalline form caught the light of a nearby sun. Perhaps it is time we reconsidered our definition of advancement. The void creatures proved that perfection can be predicted, but chaos. Chaos keeps us alive. Maya finished, joining them at the viewport. Humanity never forgot that. Now neither will the galaxy. As the combined fleet regrouped around Nexus Prime, Sarah reflected on how far they had come. The council races had started by laughing at humanity's primitive nature. Now they studied human history, not to mock, but to relearn lessons their civilizations had forgotten in their rush to perfect themselves. The galaxy had changed. The council races were already talking about incorporating human unpredictability into their defensive doctrine, of finding ways to reawaken the instincts they had engineered away. They had learned what humanity had known all along, that true strength lies not in eliminating imperfection, but in embracing it. That sometimes the most primitive solution is the most effective one. And somewhere out in the darkness between the stars, any other predators considering the galaxy as hunting grounds would find something new waiting for them. A civilization that had remembered how to bare its teeth. The laughter had stopped, replaced by respect, understanding, and something else. Hope. Hope born from the recognition that in the vast darkness of space, survival didn't depend on perfection, but on the willingness to adapt, to embrace chaos, and to never forget what it meant to fight back. Humanity had taught the galaxy how to survive again, and the galaxy would never be the same.